Hey, welcome to Get YouTube Done Now. I am Majesty AliNICOLE Wow, and I'm super excited about this workspace session because I have one of my celebritypreneurs here in this session, and I'm excited. It's Brenda Lynn. And I can't say enough about the phenomenal Brenda Lynn, but I'm grateful to have her. This workspace session is one where we do master planning and sort of craft the Get YouTube Done Now VIP intensives in a very customized way. So as I mentioned, I am Majesty AliNICOLE Wow. I am the founder and creator of the WowTubepreneur Factor Evolution. And again, want to welcome you to this space. And Brenda Lynn, thank you for being here. I'm excited that you have come into this space to evolve your YouTube process today.
I'm very excited about it. I've done some reading and reading the articles, and it's such a unique solution, and it fits me and my bandwidth, my timetable very well. So I'm really excited to dive deep into that.
Oh, great. Well, I am excited to dive in with you
Good.
and help you navigate these waters, especially as it relates to YouTube. It's such a vast ocean of opportunities.
Yeah, it is. And it can get very confusing for people like me that don't have time to take a university course on it and figure it out. It's why this system that you've put in is just so profound for me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And something that you said that is extremely profound, especially for most, is in terms of the time and even the learning around social media in general, but especially a platform like YouTube. And anytime we can make processes to be more simplified, but also customized in a way that is most aligned for the individual, that's what's going to work best. Because there are a lot of programs and processes and different things that others can avail themselves to. But if it's kind of overwhelming with consuming so much and different things, everything just doesn't apply to everyone. So it's good when people can have a customized experience. And of course, there is the learning within that, but they're doing it sort of in their own way and in their own pace. But at the same time, having a process that can actually help to accelerate people, because when they can get the acceleration and the momentum, they'll get into action, and that's when they actually can start really getting results, than versus if they are actually just kind of waiting around to do it on their own time, own terms. But that's what these intensives do, to help you get YouTube done now, whatever that now or whatever needs to be done looks like.
Yeah. And I love that you're taking it beyond the niche focus that has been drilled into us as entrepreneurs forever and never felt really right to me, because we are multidimensional beings.
Absolutely.
We've got so many different aspects of ourselves. And I love that that's been addressed within this strategy.
Oh, absolutely. Well, anything about me is very non-traditional, unconventional, uninstitutionalized. And I teach the multi-interest, multi-level, multi-mission, and multi-dimensional, types of frameworks, because that's, my entire branding structure is really around that. And not that you can't use traditional formats or niche focuses, but they more so fit into, as you know, I teach from the Russian nesting doll perspective. And if those who are not familiar with the Russian nesting doll or the Matryoshka doll, I'm probably butchering the name. I have a publication and works around this, where it's the big doll into the dolls within the dolls within the dolls. And that's exactly how we are. Our brands are multidimensional and our empires are multidimensional. So niches or niche focuses, so to speak, kind of fit within this overall brand expression of who we are. And so even when it comes to YouTube, the way, as Brenda Lynn brought up, that I teach the concept in the formats is that you can have these different focuses within and have a multi-niche type of channel and expression. But at the same time, you're not limited to just having that type of expression, because you can have a niche focus and have another channel that focuses on that. But primarily where the direction is going in terms of not just entrepreneurs and the business world, just the way that the consumer processes their experiences and what they want to experience is where they can get things in a one-stop shop type of focus. That's where they want to be, to also reserve their time, as you mentioned, Brenda, Lynn, just in terms of even the learning, but even the consumer is the same way. They want to go, where can I actually get the experience that provides pretty much everything?
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Definitely. So let's start to jump into this workspace session. Like I said, I'm very excited, and I know that you had the opportunity to read well, two article bundles, but there was one primarily that we felt would be the most aligned fit, which I believe is the best place for anyone really to start.
Yeah.
And, we'll have those articles within the description, but Brenda Lynn is going to read the article, because that's normally what I have those who participate to do, is to read it, because it's like giving, even though they've read it before, you who are listening, and you take your own self through this customized experience, you'll have to do your own reading. But hearing her go through it, since it's her session, she's just going to reread it in a sense, and it'll give you a general premise of where we're going today. So, so Brenda Lynn, before we jump in, you jump in, so to speak, to read the article, is there anything else you would like to say, or do you want to just go ahead and read and we discuss?
I think I've said it. I'm just really excited about engaging in this strategy. As I read through those articles, there were so many aha moments.
Yeah.
That went, oh, this makes it so easy.
Yeah.
And so purposeful for me, because as I said, I've got multiple dimensions to my leadership.
Yes.
And it goes everywhere from very traditional to very not traditional.
Right.
And to be able to segregate that within the same program is just made perfect sense to me.
Awesome. Okay.
So, yeah. So do you want me to share screen or just read from my notes?
No, you just read from, just read from your notes. I mean, not the notes, from the article.
Yeah. From the article.
Yes, great.
Okay. Create your own Get YouTube Done Now VIP intensive weekend or week. This is 8 articles and mini lessons, video playlists to help small channels set up for achieving their maximum success, monetization, and more. Getting YouTube done now. I'm excited to share the knowledge in this article with you, because I believe it will serve small YouTube channels at the highest level for learning how to maximize their growth potential and so much more. Do you find it hard to be consistent with your YouTube channel, or just desire to get more out of your channel? Are you an emerging YouTuber with a channel that has less than 500 subscribers, or you're in that space between 1,000 subscribers and struggle to grow or monetize your channel? If you fit into any of these categories, this article is definitely for you. Accurate preparation and affluent master planning are the key core elements of laying a solid foundation for success with YouTube. This article includes 8 articles to help you become knowledgeable for achieving massive growth in a holistic way for your small channel. Before I invite you to explore those articles, I would like to share some benefits of creating your own customized Get YouTube Done Now intensive. One of my favorite signature formats for working with others and even taking myself through a process is in the VIP intensive style. I love having blocked out focus time where I can work on specific areas and create massive momentum in my success setups. Because people have different schedules, it's best when they can carve out a right amount of time for themselves to work on the highest priority area for life, career, and more. With having a YouTube business, I find Get YouTube Done Now VIP intensives to be not only essential, but extremely vital and valuable for success as it relates to consistency, monetization, and more. VIP, or very important projects or process intensives, allow us to achieve greater success than if we were just working away at something bit by bit in our everyday affairs. When we work in intensive formats, whether it's a weekend or a week, pretty significant things start to occur. I found it to be very beneficial to create production and pre-scheduling intensives. Within one weekend or a week, I create my base content for short-form videos in batches and pre-schedule them. Then I start on my next level master plan. All of this helps me to stay consistent because I've already done the work required for the channel's steady stream of content flow at any duration of time. This way, I can focus on other areas such as working on and or serving in my business more effectively without struggling to produce or post content. Some of you might consider doing a content development and scripting intensive. I'm more into the impromptu videopreneurship, so I don't really do any templates or scripting. However, I do recommend it. I'm more of a master pre-planner of having things in a certain order so that I can jump in at any time I feel inspired to shoot a few YouTube shorts, teach a mini masterclass training, or create a Lumen 5 short form video lesson or promo. Some formats to consider are for a weekend intensive. This would be 2 VIP half days of 2.5 to 3 hours with 2 5 to 10 minute breaks. Or you could do 2 VIP full days of 5 to 5.5 hours with 2 10 to 15 minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch. You can also do week VIP intensives. So this would be 5 mini VIP days of 1 to 1.5 hours with no breaks, 5 VIP days of 2.5 to 3 hours with 2 5 to 10 minute breaks, a VIP full day of 5 to 5.5 hours with 2 10 to 15 minute breaks and 30 minutes for lunch. You can always customize this accordingly. These are just examples for you. Let's set up your experience the right way. VIP Intensive Jumpstart. The first initial VIP intensive that you should set up for yourself is outlined below. You can take a weekend or a week to complete this process and then begin to set yourself up for the real deal Get YouTube Done Now intensive. So the first is read or listen to the articles and watch mini lessons and write down notes. Taking the time to read or listen to the articles and watch the short form videos playlist and recording notes will be extremely beneficial. This helps not only your knowledge building, but also your master planning initiative. You will be clear about the most important areas to focus on first. Plan on paper. Get a planner, notebook, or journal to write down your brainstorms. Make a to-do list, notes, and master plan. You can go back and put your plan in an outline format afterwards. There's something about writing things down that creates such a powerful intention of seriousness, commitment, and honorability for the process. Get on calendar. After you've made a plan, it's time to get on calendar and schedule your intensive. Goals and plans without a date rarely come into fruition. Additional preparation. I recommend doing prep work for your meals, breaks, and or whatever other areas that are in need of organization so that you create the best experience for maximizing your time, productivity, and results. These are the basics of getting started with setting up your Get YouTube Done Now intensives. If you would like to help creating your customized intensive or desire to experience going through your own process with guidance from what stood out to you from the articles and playlists below, I currently have a few slots available for customization. customization style, get YouTube done now. VIP days, weekends, and week intensives. I also offer Get YouTube Done Now VIP days, master planning intensives, and mini VIP on-air workspace planning sessions. You can see the information on this below. Are you ready to read, listen, and watch? Enjoy and best wishes towards your success. The articles that are included with this are create massive momentum and marketing magic with YouTube Shorts and other short form videos for channels with less than 100 subscribers. The non-linear business growth tips for YouTube channels with less than 200 subscribers. Focus on figures, not just followers. How to successfully set up your YouTube channel for profits and not just popularity with under 300 subscribers. Revenue recognition your way on YouTube. The art of creating monetized success customization with less than 400 subscribers. YouTube revenue your way, creating customized monetized success with less than 500 subscribers. And 5 things you should know about profitable shifts for YouTube channels for business. Why you don't actually require subscribers to monetize your YouTube channel. However, it's best to gain several followers for a better social media appeal and presence. Faceless videos are becoming a big thing on YouTube, and this isn't new. And YouTube Your Way mini lessons. I hope that these articles serve you at the highest level for getting YouTube Done Now experience. I would love to hear about your experience with the overall process.
Excellent. Thank you, Brenda Lynn. Wonderful.
You're welcome.
And so well read.
Thank you.
Oh, that is great. I think it's so awesome when the articles can actually be read while we're in the session for the other ones that are listening, so that, again, it gives them a framework of where we're going.
Absolutely. And I think that when me as a participant reads that out loud,
yes,
it resonates at a deeper level within my being.
Yes,
you pick up stuff that you wouldn't otherwise pick up. Just the power of the verbal word.
Yes.
The spoken word is beyond what we imagine it to be.
You're so right. You are so right. And it's a vibration and frequency that goes out vocally, Yes, that's happening. So powerful and transformative, for sure. So you've read the article. So everyone has, like I said, a general premise in terms of what this experience, is about. And now from there, what you want to create based on what resonated with you, meaning if there was, a particular article, even out of the ones or a few out of the ones that you named, or in terms of what you're looking to create, whether it's a weekend or the week version or a combination or so of, what would you like to start getting some support around, or we start master planning, around the initiative?
I think that all of the articles were incredible. It's almost hard to sort them all out in my mind.
Yes.
What really resonated from me, and I don't know if this came from one article or many articles or what, what really resonated as I went through it is I need to plan. I need the planning intensive. I need the prep intensive.
Yes.
Because I have multiple different facets to my business, and I have to put some thought into how each of those are going to show up in my YouTube channel, whether it's playlists or, whether I'm going to do a series of, shorts and short form videos with the Lumen 5 or, on, face-to-face videos.
Yes.
How is that going to lay out for each one of those different channels that I work in? So that planning day for me would be critical.
Okay.
Not that I have to script out everything, but just to know.
We'll just have to have the pre-prep, like as I mentioned. For me, I'm very much a I'm a master prep planner,
Yeah.
or pre-planner, prep planner. If I have things where I'm ready to move into it, I can flow very easily because I'm actually kind of the opposite in terms of when people write out their things and have scripts and different things. I kind of don't really operate like that, but I do recommend it because I
Yeah.
can't always say I've always been like that. But whatever is going to be best in terms of how you flow and move forward, that gets you in that, in the movement to getting things done. You're right. The prep work and prep planning for that is vital. And it's one of those things, as you can see, even in this article, that I even recommend, to people is that, take an opportunity that even if you have to create a workspace session for yourself, even just around just doing the articles, or just doing and
Yeah.
creating from there what you feel an action plan would be and gathering that type of knowledge for yourself and then creating around that. But of course, you've already read the articles, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
But sometimes too, I do recommend also that people, even if you've read them and you've gone through them, you can also incorporate in your prep day opportunity to, I'm gonna set aside some time to maybe go back and read a specific article that resonated to me the most
Yeah.
and go through that and flesh a few things out because I want this to be more of um, the major focus, choose your majors and your minors like you're in college,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what I would suggest for you because you are desiring to start looking at the different facets and how they play out, for your channel. So you can start with choosing what is a major and what is a minor. And because when you have a lot of different focuses, we don't want to focus on all those things. Obviously, we know that they'll have
Yeah.
a place, but there can be one or two things that stick out to you the most that you feel and sense. This is where I feel I need to start with showing up with this level of my leadership offerings or a core message or so. And
Yeah.
then you can say, this one here can be I feel like that's my major or my double major. And then here's a minor focus. And then,
Right.
yeah, look within the articles and then see, okay, now let me put this here, put this there. So that's just something before we jump into the grind of this in the sense that you can consider.
Okay.
If you want to play there, we can definitely play there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, the articles were great. The pre-planning session is a must for me. And then I love the idea of scheduling out and compiling the content so
Mhm.
that it can just be released on some kind of a schedule, but you don't
Yes.
have to be prepping it every, something new every day to get up there.
Right,
All the work
right.
is done. And I find that when I'm working that it's so much easier to, get my camera set up, my lighting set up,
Mhm.
get my self camera ready and just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot.
Right.
It's so much easier than trying to do that every single day and find the time to do that, make sure that it's quiet around and that it just makes so much more sense um to do an
Oh,
intensive
absolutely.
content production time.
Yes, exactly. Have these multiple different ways because what you said is so on point, it's accurate. It doesn't make sense to um be doing this constantly in that way because that's where people get burnt out and they actually spend more time in productions than actually really being in their business
Yeah.
and doing the things that are going to keep you in business, so to speak. The productions need to be more simplified and a lot of times more natural and organic. And that's why doing the YouTube shorts is something which, within certain articles or so you see there's more of a focus even around those is because
Yeah.
those take really little to no production in terms of post-production because those are where you can be more kind of organic and let your personal branding come out and shine,
Yeah.
where you're doing inspirational quotes or you're doing inspirational, you're just talking on your walk or so and giving them a feel of that, then some of the the other aspects that you want to focus on more professionally, even though it's all professional, but it's because it's all cohesively working together. But you can then, yes, spend a little bit more time in terms of the production around that editing. But even with that, I would make those videos not as long either, because you want people to be segued into, if it's going to be something longer, it needs to be then they're in a program or process with you in time spent that way than them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the concept of putting profit before popularity.
Yes. Yes.
That is so critical, because as you mentioned in there, some people are really successful at building a strong, powerful channel out there. Most entrepreneurs are not.
Right.
Most of them struggle. And then, you know, if I'm any example with my community, I have this great plan for doing this content, and then life gets in the way. My focus gets hijacked into some emergency or something, and I don't have the time to prep and to record and to do that. If that content is already sitting there, it's just a matter of pushing a button.
It is. And then at the same time, it's a matter of, you know, scheduling, where the syndication just posts itself when it's that time you scheduled it. And so I don't want to say that this is kind of a set it and forget it, but in some case it is, in terms of that aspect of it. But then how you serve others, because they're being served, and them being served is not contingent upon you having to manually do things in that way. You have thought about them and valued their time, but also yours as well, to pre-do certain things to make sure that they are constantly served at the highest level, you know, based on all those things being done. And the whole concept around, as you know, the common phrase, work smarter, not harder. Yes.
This is smarter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a more lucrative way to leverage, and a more liberating way to function, if you will, when we can do it in this type of manner. And you'll find that, yes, when you do these intensives, it almost becomes addictive for all things in life, because I'll do a get it done day, or get it done for like all types of different areas, you know. And it makes, you know, it allows you to be free and flexible. And if you're going to be in business, especially with YouTube, as it is what I have coined a YouTubepreneur, because there is a difference between being a YouTuber and a YouTubepreneur. YouTubers are, you know, they get popular, and they hope that their popularity will lead to profitability, but they don't necessarily always have a business plan as it relates to their YouTube agenda or profits model to the overall advantage. In a YouTube entrepreneurship, it's different. And that's why even when starting off with small channels, it's best for them to actually set up with the big rocks first and build the foundation of a YouTube business, and set up multiple playlists of different aspects of who they are, and then maybe come back with a more cohesive focus and start to grow the channel a certain way, but definitely putting in those big rocks first. So you brought up the figures, you know, the focusing on the figures first versus the followers. That's how a business is that you're in business to serve, of course. But I make these distinctions often in these sessions, is that you're not showing up as a nonprofit. You're in business. So that means that the figures have to be thought about. And
without that, you don't stay in business.
Oh, exactly.
Then you're not available. I've seen so many people that have had to quit their passion because they weren't making enough money to put food on the table, and they had to go find a what they call a real job.
Regular job. Right. Right. Exactly.
It's sad because we took some powerful influencers off the table because they didn't know how to do this.
Right. It's because it's just like the three little pigs. If you don't build your house with bricks, the things that, you know, if you build a sticks or straw type of framework of thinking, yes, well, I'm going to get on and I'm going to be an influencer. I'm going to make, you know, build this mass following, and then this mass following, you know, leads to profitability. And in the older model, that is typically, in a sense, how it would happen, but it's a very hard road.
Happen for a few, not for the
Yeah,
many.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's not for the majority. Honestly, no cookie cutter system is going to be, or any one size fits all framework is going to be for any and everybody. That's why it's best for people to have a customized type of process that, yes, they do have fundamentals that everybody must grasp and ground and apply, but you end up finding your unique way of how to accurately and fluently position yourself for the win-win, because you have to think about yourself first too as well, and not just I'm doing this for the people, not when you're in business. So going back to, in terms of structuring, you know, with the get it done and creating for yourself at this point, the prep station nation type of framework.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and focusing on that. So is there anything that's coming to you in terms of what you feel your major might be if we did the major and minor and played in that area? What is strongly feeling like that needs to be expressed? And if we need to do a process of breathing and things around that, certainly I'm open to
I'm
do.
really clear on what my top two
Okay, so
things
there,
are.
okay.
And the one is on relationships, relationship intelligence, conversation intelligence.
Yes.
How to build relationships through the way that you show up in them, through the way that you converse with people.
Yes.
I've got a huge depth of work on that, and it's still my passion because it's so needed out there.
Oh, absolutely.
So that would be one of them. And the other one, which plays really nicely with that one, excuse me, is the energy body, working with the energy field, the vibration, the emotions that flow through. Both of them have that thread of emotional intelligence running through them. But and for me, it's hard to pick one over the other.
Yeah, so let's
a double major.
Yeah, there you go. I was just about to say, so let's allow that to be a double major. And so let's just stick with the double majors at this point. And, you know, a minor might creep in here or there, and then we can, you know, kind of explore that. So, so now if we look at this in terms of showing up that way from a business perspective, then you look at where do you already have a base that you can serve from in terms of offerings and products. And of course, I know with the energy body, because you and I have products in that and different things, you know. So you look at that in terms of laying down some big rock structures, so to speak. Is that okay? You may have offerings for both of those areas, but look at what is kind of the strongest at this point that you could be able to talk more about and point people to different opportunities. So wherever you have the vastness, would definitely be, if the guidance is feeling there, you know, if you're feeling that, is to maybe start with that first.
And again, it comes down to that being hard. I've got all kinds of courses and products in each of those realms.
Okay, well then you can flow with both of them then.
Yeah.
If one does not jump out more than the other, then this is where you just kind of intuitively then just go with it, or we plan from there and just say, okay,
absolutely,
yeah, I'm gonna do a video series for this particular one, and I'm going to do a video series for this one. And then my YouTube shorts, I could do a few shorts for that, but maybe you leave the space open for the shorts to be just your kind of random.
Yes. And I've got the content. Like I've got the content. I've worked with the content. I'd like to get it out to a broader audience where I can see the shorts coming in is on the marketing side.
Yes, well, it is in that, and that's what the
Yeah.
article actually talks about in terms of the one where using that in a powerful way. But
Yeah.
at the same time, when I say even your random things, that too is marketing, because it's all marketing. And the reason why it's all marketing is because we're talking about your personal and professional brand, because people have different connection points. There are people who connect to something that is non-business related or non-focused, and then it draws them into something that you actually have, that they actually do have an interest in, where they may miss it in the search engine in terms of how YouTube's algorithms can be interesting at times.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, to say, yeah, exactly, really. And what I have found, as you've seen even in one of the articles, is that the non-linear postings often are what grow and bring attention to other things, and say, wow, okay, you have this too. And I was actually looking for this, but I didn't find that coming up. I found it through this interest. So you can have a combination of both, is that, but it's all still marketing. You're always marketing. I want to say this to the listeners. You are always marketing and you are always branding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when you're talking to people in your household, it's always some form of demonstration of who you are, and either trying to not necessarily get somebody on board with your perspective or so, but even to get kids to clean their room. That's a form of marketing.
Yeah,
because you're
selling, right?
Exactly, communication, persuasion, right? It's just
well, that's the thing, is sales and marketing is really just communication.
It always is.
Yeah,
Yes. And that's why I trump that. Absolutely. And I trump that above all, in the sense that you can see even in some of the other articles. Okay, so since we're clear, go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing, and you might be leading into this, is when you talked about other interests that are related but not a part of these things. And this is where some of my financial work would come in, but also my art stuff, that because it was very emotionally based, it was very vibrational. So it plays into both of these realms, but it's very different.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
that
that's
would be
the
ancillary
benefit.
to.
Absolutely. And that's the benefit of being able to be multi-interest and not be limited and constricted and confined to just a certain type of focus or focuses, so to speak, is because it can draw other people in, like you brought up with your art. So even with YouTube Shorts, you can use your art even for that, because you can show one of the art pieces and then tell just a little something about that.
Just the intro story to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then do a longer video about it and use the short to lead into that. So so there's just a lot of different ways that you can do it. It's just not getting, confused about how to do it. I just say, just set yourself up where you can just flow in it. I felt somebody needed to really hear that. So I'm going to repeat that. You set yourself up where you can just flow into it, flow into what you're doing. And you don't have to have it where this has the match here, this has the match here. Just flow the content, flow through the inspiration, and then allow yourself to divinely assimilate it later where it needs to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as you know, up until this point, and the intensive will be a bit different. It'll be an accelerated version of this, but I get up every day and, on my walk, I ask, what do people need to hear today?
That's right.
What do they need to hear from me? Who do I talk to? What do they need to hear me say? And it could be art.
That's right.
It could be something about the full moon. It could be something about communication and relationships, or it could be something about the chakras. It could be meditation.
Right.
There's
It
so
could be
many
a number
different
of things.
Yeah. And if I just allow that higher guidance, that inner guidance to dictate what is heard when, that's when I find things things work out the best.
They will. And you'll be guided also to the right times to post,
Yeah.
the right times to schedule, all of these different things, without feeling like, oh, it has to be this. I always say we can create plans and tentative plans, but you don't have to be married to them. You have to be committed to the cause and to the initiative, but you have to allow divine editing to take place so that
absolutely. That's when the flow comes in, right? That's where that for me, that's when I find that I'm in the flow and things happen easily and gracefully and just so perfectly for me when I'm in that flow.
Right, exactly. So on the note of being in the flow, let's continue and create the flow plan, for you, because you mentioned in terms of wanting to really have the prep. So let's look at the two options within what we're in the article, the weekend, and then there's, the week. So are you sensing that, yes, I do a weekend intensive and get all the prep done for these certain things and then move into a week, or do it and then move into another weekend intensive?
I think you nailed it first time out. I think that for the intensive, the weekend, and when I say weekend, it might not be a Saturday, Sunday. It might be a Monday, Tuesday, or
just a 2-day. Yeah.
A 2-day intensive of, 3 to 4 hours a day to try to compile. My content is in multiple different folders and different things, but just to really sit with it and figure out what goes into each of those channels and what do I want to do as far as short form, longer videos. I think I can do that in a weekend that is 2, 3 to 4 hour days.
Yes, right. And so you said something very critical here that I want to reiterate and bring out. Just as the article mentioned, that the first VIP type of intensive that you'll get the most benefit out of is when you actually do one that is setting yourself up for the success a certain way and starting to work in that area, then coming back and doing what would be considered the actual intensive, so to speak. And when you're doing that, that can be done at any time. And so just like what Brenda said, well, that aspect of it could be that I do that on a Monday or Tuesday or however, and then come back and just say, okay, well, I am going to block out this weekend or the next week with different, whatever time slots you've picked in terms of, how you want to do that. And again, that can change as well. So
because life tends to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does play out like that at times. And so
but if you have it written down, if you've committed it to your calendar, you've got it in there. Yeah, life might get in the way and it adjusts, but then you adjust that block forward a day or something, but you still commit to, or at least I plan to commit to that block of time.
Absolutely.
3 to 4 hour days for the intensive. It could be that my weekend gets hijacked and I'm doing it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, but it will be a 2-day. And I think those days for me need to be back to back because there is that momentum, that flow that can happen.
Absolutely. And it's best. And so something I want to bring up here that I think is crucial for those who are listening for sure is even within the article where it talks about doing preps in terms of whether it's meal and breaks and just anything else that is involved. Now, I'm going to share something, personal and professional in a sense for me. When I know that I'm going to be doing intensives, everybody is on notice. So I'm not getting hijacked unless the house is on fire or some dire emergency is taking place. It's like, no, I have committed to this, and my boundaries are, let me articulate to other people, I am out of pocket during this time, during this, and everybody's meals in my house or whatever, you have this. So there's an understanding. That is part of the entrepreneurial boundary setting or so too, of where we don't allow things to get in the way unless it's absolutely, again,
An absolute emergency.
yeah, we can get out ahead. And that's what getting done does, is that you're not just getting YouTube done, you're getting you done on some levels too.
Yeah.
And just as we get out ahead for our audience to create for them, we also can get out ahead of potential things to say, listen, that's communication, going back to relationships, right? You know, communication is, I'm going to be out of pocket this weekend during this time. But, you know, maybe we can connect during this time or so if that comes up. So when we do actually let people know that we have certain things going on, then they can know not to actually contact us during that time or not to do X, Y, and Z. So we can get out ahead of our own hijackings and, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was crucial to bring up for people.
No, it's a
you
good
know,
point.
yeah, as well is and people know that. It's like if you're somewhere else at another point, you can't get to that anyway. And so that time is carved out.
Yeah. And that's when it can be the most productive, because you start working, whenever you carve out a block of time, you start working in the days leading up to it. Your brain starts to formulate, your energy formulates around it.
Right. Yeah, it does. It does start to formulate around it. You're right.
Still coughing a little bit. It gets very dry here at this time of year. Your energy field starts to set up, and whatever guidance you need is called in for that period of time. And that's what makes it flow so easily and smoothly. When you can block it off like that and set that intention, you can get so much work done in such a short period of time, because you've got all of the pieces in place.
Right. So let's get some pieces of this puzzle
in place for me.
Yes. So you will know exactly when, of course, you want to actually block that time out and start to do that. So let's get into, maybe if we want to get into maybe the nuts and bolts, in a sense, in terms of you've clarified the two areas at least that you want to start with. You've clarified that you want to get out ahead by prepping yourself so that you can flow right into right into this. So let's look at, in terms of what actually you can start flowing. So within the articles and different things, of course, there was numerous ones of those 8, in particular. So in terms of maybe playlist or doing series or YouTube shorts, I mean, it's a combination of different things. What do you see that this first VIP intensive, even in the prep?
I think that I need to separate these into 2 camps, into the energy work and into the conversation/relationship work. But so I think that I would start with the energy, the vibrational work.
Yes.
And I can see, and like I said, I've got a ton of product on that. One of the things I have is are meditations for each of the chakras. So I could see doing a series of shorts.
Yes.
Just with a mini version of that meditation, just an intro, whether it's the intro to it, some breath work, the relaxation, whatever that is, but doing the short, doing a series of shorts for those. So that would be 8 different videos that to introduce those.
Yes.
I've got, what have I got? 16 different publications, many of which are in that area of vibration.
In that area, right.
Energy, body, vibration, chakras. So doing shorts on each one of those can do that. And in my mind, I haven't worked with short form. Like I haven't worked with Lumen 5. I do a lot of video editing and stuff through Camtasia, and I'm not sure how those two play, but I haven't ever done the short form non face-to-face videos. So exploring, getting comfortable with doing that before the intensive. Like I want to explore that product before the intensive. And then decide which of these might might be short form videos rather than the shorts. And
Right.
and then I've got a ton of face-to-face videos, and of course, because all my trainings are up in Evergreen. So
Right.
figuring out how to do some intro to those for the courses, leading into the courses, leading into the books, and
yeah, that's great. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier in terms of and I was sensing, of course, the energy body aspect, the chakra stuff.
Yeah.
And that was feeling more like that's the energy to really go with, because I felt that that's the more robustness, and in terms of new energy at this point to go there, with. And because you just how you just float that out so easily, and I'm sure you probably could with the relationship
Oh,
thing.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. But that
you're right. They're different vibrations.
Absolutely, they are. That felt stronger in terms of being able to want to be expressed, I should say. And so with that, yeah, I like also what you mentioned about playing around with getting familiar with what you're not familiar with before jumping into your actual literal intensive. And so you mentioned about Camtasia. Is it
Camtasia.
Okay, Camtasia. Okay. And that's what you've been mostly using. And you can still use that. Lumen 5 is just a consideration.
Well, yeah, and
it's not something you have to use at all.
No.
If you use Camtasia, that can definitely for your short.
I could definitely do it. The sense that I'm getting from what I've seen, the work that I've seen done on Lumen 5 by you and Gina, and
yes,
other people in your celebritypreneur program.
Yeah.
To me, if you learn to use it, it looks like it was much faster and easier than doing the editing and adding all the different boxes and stuff in Camtasia. So this is why I would like to learn it, because to me, there's new tools emerging all the time. Camtasia is really good for editing my course videos that are 90 minutes long, or the ones that we're doing that are a couple hours long, and
yes, right,
you have to cut and stuff. But to be able to do a quick, 2-minute video on Lumen 5 where you just put in your text and hit some buttons and goes to town,
like videos and graphics, right, and music. It is a more simplified process. And how you can be able to repurpose articles and take things from there. It does make it so much it's more efficient, for sure.
It's just nice to add new tools to your toolbox, because really, like I said, new things are coming up all the time that just simplify our process, but also enhances it in a way that you're adding a tremendous amount of variety. So you're not doing the same thing over and over again and people are getting bored with it.
Right.
It brings variety into your channels, into your programs. So
absolutely. And I'm so glad you said that, because even as you see, even within the articles, the ones people are required to read to set themselves up, for, is it talks about having the variety on your channels and the different formats and connectivity points of how people really connect to content. And that's why it is good to not just look at YouTube just in a one-dimensional way in terms of it just being face-to-face videos and all this. You really do need a combination, even for the same person who feels they connect to a certain type of content, but even that person needs variety too. So we all need variety, right?
And even for the marketing aspect of it, some people will connect with a cartoon.
They really will,
or the little doodle videos, and
the doodles, absolutely.
Other people want to see you. They want to see your face there. They want to, get to know who you are, so that they know whether they like you and can trust you.
Right.
So having a variety of, even on the same topic, doing it in a variety of
ways, absolutely,
are going to they're going to draw in a broader audience
Mhm.
because they relate to different formats.
Absolutely, right. And it just expresses the multidimensionalism of who you are.
Yeah.
And people need to, from the jump, understand that is who you are. And
There's
definitely.
multiple facets of
Yeah,
the being.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
right. But I love the fact that you know, have the tentative plan and structure in a sense of where you really feel that you want to go. And this is important is because having that type of awareness allows you to then be in that flow at any level of
Yeah.
what you're doing around this particular initiative. And so the whole concept and overall objective of getting YouTube done, as you can see, it's very multi-layered.
Yeah.
But jumping in and starting to really work with ease with what you already have, see what needs to be developed. And Brenda Lynn definitely is providing a great and stellar example of saying, yes, I need to actually, let me learn this tool here. And yes, I can use the one that I have to go ahead and start moving, but you know, I better be adding to what I'm doing so I can already have that variety going and everything. And see, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Woman after my own heart.
Exactly. It's like, you know, us as women will often take our high heels and hammer in a nail or
A
fix
nail, right?
something. And
Mhm.
but sometimes a hammer actually works better for us.
Yeah, right,
You know?
exactly.
So, you know, there's different uses for those things. That
Right.
the high heel is usually more available when you're out and about and
Right,
something happens, but
exactly.
when you can have time to plan and pre-plan and organize things, the hammer might be the tool for
The
you.
hammer might be the tool. Exactly. Right. So yeah, yeah, definitely. So okay, so we're looking at what the prep initiative you know looks like in terms of you doing the exploration with the to level up for the short form. Uh,
Yes.
so that's what that's more so feeling like. So the your actual intensive um do you get a sense of what might be played out more in that aspect? Like if you already had all your prep done, what would
Yes.
that next level look like in terms of what would be your core focus?
I think in the realm of the energy body, the vibrational work, I think I can see doing a lot of shorts. And like I say, whether that's introducing a meditation or talking about one of the chakras or the energy body in general, or some of the advanced work that you and I have been doing with the chakras. There's so many different shorts that I can do that I could see in that realm. I could see doing one every second day. So I would like to have 15 shorts
Yes.
prepared within that realm of the energy body, the vibrational stuff. And I mean, there's just so much content that I could dive into.
Oh yeah,
Full moons,
yeah.
new moons, stuff that's not part
There's
of
a
my
lot, right?
programs,
Yeah.
but will draw people in. So I could see doing 15, starting with 15 shorts.
Okay, starting with 15. So that would be again for when you actually are doing your literal intensive.
Intensive, yeah.
So
So
do
this is
you,
after all the planning's
yeah,
done, and
also,
this is what I'd like to see. What
mhm.
does it make sense to do a short on each of those meditations? Or, you know, do I do it on one meditation and go random on all kinds of other vibrational stuff that's happening in our world? Or I don't know.
Well, you can
That
do
would,
it all. That's the thing about it is that
yeah,
you even though you're creating this sort of plan, again, you're not limited, you know, you're not limited to just what you're creating. You have to really move with the inspiration. And when you mention about your meditations and different things and possibly doing shorts, which, you know, shorts, you only get up to 60 seconds, you know, to create,
yeah,
to do those. But if you want to do maybe, yeah, a series about that, and this can be part one, and you're talking about this specific thing, it could be one tip or one something, one suggestion, like today, I want everyone to focus on just breathe. Something we don't do is often enough, even though it is what we do all the time, but we're not really being conscious,
right,
breath and its importance. And so it could be something just as simple as that.
Exactly. And maybe that's more suited to the shorts, and maybe
that's what I was referring to.
Meditation stuff could be more of a 2 to 3 minute video or something like
well,
that.
Absolutely. But guess what? These can also lead into, meaning the shorts can definitely lead into something, because there's the ability to put the text, look in the comments for longer video on this, or more resource information. And so what it is that you can do both, because just like meditation, now you may not on a short invite people into a 3-second meditation, but what you could do definitely is meditation is one of those areas that most won't explore because they feel that it's hard to do. They don't know how to do it. You can simplify meditation and start with maybe 1 to 2 minutes of just a focus on something, and do, some deep breathing. And if you would like to learn more about taking this to the next level, or exploring this further, there's information, in the description about that or so. So
Perfect.
It's just, a quick, call to actions or invitations to implementation, so to speak. It's just, those are really the thought-provoking types of, the shorts can provide, where you are providing those thought-provoking awareness moments, and you move through them so quickly that that's what they are, but they're so empowering. They're, food for thought today. Something you and I discussed about what you want to create in terms of, Brenda's bits of brilliance.
Oh, yeah.
And so, she's like, oh yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the thing, is my, in my Brenda Lynn, or Brenda's bits of brilliance, empowerment for today, let's just focus on gratitude and giving thanks for 1 to 3 things that just you could just go on, of course. Those are things you could just really pop off with, that are very true to who you are, natural and organic. And something I want to bring up also within your works is that it would be also good to do maybe a nighttime nuggets, from your publication. And I contributed the forward to that wonderful publication, a nighttime nuggets series, or nighttime nuggets
like a whole series on that. And that could almost be like, this is everything I do is so interrelated, so it could be part of the energy body, but it could be part of the rooted in health too.
Absolutely. What it is that you could put them in different, like when it comes to playlists, and I want to say this even for those who are listening, when playlist videos, you don't have to just have that video just in one playlist. It could be in multiple playlists that is, related to. But there's also the option to do one for each thing, meaning, and this is the benefit for those of you who have small channels. This is the benefit, that before you actually get visible, in a sense, where people start to really notice, this is the time where you actually need to be building up playlists and doing these, I don't say random things, but building up playlists in different ways, is so that you have that base, and that's where you have your more exploration in different things, and you have something people can not only come to, but things you can reference at another point, and then put those as end screens, even on your videos, to be directed to this video here, or related videos. And so that's the expansiveness of these types of processes and experiences, is there's no limitations. But to not get, I would say, too far down the rabbit hole, to not get too confused about different things, it's just know that you can do it for each. So if you want to do one that is specific for the chakras, for the energy body, then honor that and do one for that, and then you can do the same for the relationships or any other one. But what I was referring to before is that you can have a playlist that is about nighttime enhancement or however, and it can have where you've done a few in terms of sharing affirmations or sharing excerpts or so from the publication. Before you lay down to go to bed tonight, I want you to think about X, Y, and Z. And, the subconscious mind, when you dream, is, I mean, don't get me started, but, that's, you get that. And so you can have a playlist that is just about the nighttime well-being. And that can be your nighttime nuggets. And no, it doesn't all have to be around the book, so to speak, because it can address things that maybe you didn't talk about in the book, and you want to talk about the importance of rest. And if you have a meditation for rest, you have there's so many things that you can do. And that's what these Get YouTube Done now, especially for the channel gets to be a certain way, where you can put all of these things in place and link your products and all the different things within there during these times. So a lot to think about.
Yes, there is. Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that being said, is there anything else that you want to flesh out, marketing or anything? Is there anything else in terms that you want to talk about in terms of you getting YouTube done? It still all plays a part of your intensive, so to speak, but just anything else that you would like some support around, and that you also feel could benefit even those who will be listening.
I think I'm pretty clear on what I need to do. Probably some questions will come up when I'm when I'm working on my intensive, and I'm going, oh, now I could use some advice on the playlist,
whichever
like
point, right? And of course, when you're doing your weekend or your week or however, and we can sync up and schedule too, then there's the opportunity for the support. And that's the thing I like to reiterate, even in these segments, these workspace sessions, is that we set things up, but we're doing the other work, of course, obviously outside of this, and there's the ongoing, continued support. But during these workspace sessions, is the benefit for those of you who are listening is that you hear a combination of training, of consulting, of coaching, of crack whipping sometimes. Never really, but it could happen.
Yes.
And the co-creative process, and different things, just brainstorming, master planning what this could look like, and in making it easy for you, no matter what you're doing, whether it's YouTube or just anything in life in general, that it helps you to put things into a better perspective and framework of how you can leverage this. But then, of course, certainly taking what you hear Brenda Lynn planning for herself and think, I'm in that same place, and I feel that I need to be doing that too. And I need to be really thinking this, and don't have to have it perfect, and start this process, because that's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, getting YouTube done. So before we close out, I definitely want you to give a shout out, in a sense, for your channel. And you can, so you can invite people over to your channel and to follow this journey of your YouTube evolution.
Yeah. And so my channel is Brenda Lynn Leadership. And there's some playlists up there right now. Nothing is as targeted as it's going to be when I get through this.
Yes.
But it is in Brenda Lynn Leadership, we cover all aspects from ancient technologies and strategies to leading edge strategies. And I think that adds that robustness to creating ourselves as influencers, whether it's, parents, a corporate leader, an athletic coach, whatever that is, anybody who's out there to change the world will
Absolutely.
benefit from the content on there. Different ideas. Some will resonate, some may not, but it's a very robust, holistic look at how do you improve how do you illuminate your magic?
That's it. Your overall life and well-being is perfect. And that's the thing, is you want to have that variety that people can explore, whether it is the emotional intelligence, the energy body, the leadership aspect of everything that you talked about with technology, leading edge, just sharing these different levels and facets of who you are, because we are multifaceted people. And we are multi-interest people. And and that's what channels nowadays, how they're going to thrive, is being able to have this type of, provide this type of experience, for others.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm very excited, for you and the work that we'll continue to do here. So before we wrap up here, I would like to hear from you in terms of course, what you're most excited about, or anything from this workspace session that's come up for you that was a highlight or so, and then anything else you want to say to those who are listening.
I'm very excited because I have a YouTube channel. There's no members. I haven't had time to get out there and really market members or to be consistent with my postings. So I just post whenever something hits me and I get it up there. What I'm really excited about is actually putting a format to this, a system, put a system in place where, and I love that all of your articles that we went through were for smaller channels. They're not for people that have 50,000 people on their channel and are looking on how to grow that. I love that we're looking at the profitability for small channels. That really lit me up, because that's where I'm starting from. I'm starting from basically nothing and creating something that's going to generate revenue for me so that I will be able to continue the work that I do in serving people out there. So that's exciting.
Yes.
And just the different, like the whole system has got such a high vibration to it. And when I talk about high vibration, it just makes, when you're in that higher flow of vibration, things are easier.
Yes.
They're simpler.
Yes.
They're not nearly as complicated. They flow with really accelerated energy. And that's the sense that I got when I was reading this, is, this is a format that that's going to be easy to put in place, that's going to move very quickly, that's going to accelerate my business, the business that I have behind it. So I'm very excited about all of that.
Great, great, great. And so your highlight, basically, I guess from this session is the fact that you do have a structure that's being put in place at this point to move that into into motion. So that's great. Any parting words of encouragement or so that you would like to give to those who are listening, maybe where you are or restarting or however?
I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I work with a lot of solopreneurs, and a lot of them are struggling in the same way that I was struggling. And how do you get your name out there? How do you start building an audience without it consuming every minute of your day? And I just want them to know that this is something to look very seriously at and entertain. And I think this is what is going to bring a lot of those, healers and coaches and, small entrepreneurs, and give them a chance to actually shine in the spotlight and get their business out there, get their business known, and accelerate their profitability as well as their popularity.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Wow, that was That was great. And I appreciate that. And I agree with you that it's not always the easiest thing to start putting yourself out there, getting known right away, so to speak. But that's why there are, as you mentioned, processes like these that give you exactly what you need to really show up in your own true authenticity
Absolutely.
and navigate this process. And everyone is at different levels, and you find your place in this experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so
Yeah. And that's what another thing with this is it's so customizable. Like it could be, I've got a lot of content. I've been doing this work for a number of years. Other people are
yes.
just starting out. And the nice thing about this is you can customize this to wherever you're at
Mm-hmm.
on that journey and make it work for you to take you to the next level, wherever that may be.
Indeed, indeed. Wow, you're
So
becoming this YouTube authority real quick overnight here.
yeah,
That's
just
right.
watch me blossom.
That's exactly.
It'll be
That's
that
right.
slingshot effect that we talked
That's
about in one of
right.
the sessions.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, you're going to see her doing some trainings with me on this particular topic, which is very important. That I want to say this is because when you actually are going through processes, as you've heard me teach over the years, is when you actually need to be actually helping to guide other people as well. And I
yeah,
know people like, well, I want to wait till I get this. Well, no, sometimes it's best that when you're going through the process or after you've grounded it enough, even in the genesis phases, then if you can definitely help someone else, because sometimes it's best to be the 1 or 2 step ahead expert, because sometimes there's a big chasm in the understanding and vibrational gap between those who have mastered certain levels
yeah,
versus ones who are kind of still on the journey. Sometimes the ones still on the journey actually are more beneficial to helping
yeah,
those who are kind of just starting, because they're closer still to that place.
absolutely. The
Mhm,
farther people get along that journey, the less they remember what it was like to be at the beginning.
mhm,
And I've seen this in all different aspects of my career, that when I would just come through something, freshly come through it, and I could remember what it was like to not remember how to meditate or not know how to meditate, not know
mhm,
how to get started. You
mhm,
know, 10 years into it, I couldn't remember what people are struggling with. So it is, you're right. If you're just a couple of steps ahead,
mhm.
you're so connected to where those people are on that journey that you've got probably more valuable information for them than the expert that's been doing this for 20 years.
Absolutely. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, AliNICOLE.
Thank you.
This is beautiful work and
Thank you.
powerful, powerful magic in what you've presented here. So I encourage people to check into it, to read the articles, to get started, to really, put yourself in that slingshot and fly to the other dimensions. It can happen that quickly for you.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you again, Brenda Lynn, for sharing your experience with others in this workspace. And of course, you'll be back because we have to have the continuation of how this is progressing,
Oh,
with
yeah.
you, giving other people, of course, the opportunity to continue to see your process and follow you and see the magnificence of a caterpillar come right into a butterfly in a very accelerated format.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Oh, thank you,
thank
AliNICOLE.
you.
That's now I feel like I'm committed on
Oh, you are. Yes,
on
that's
tape. Like I'm
on air,
committed.
right?
Oh no, I gotta
Yes, now you're
perform.
on air. That's how you get out ahead of any stalling or
Yeah,
anything. Or,
yeah.
no, it's been said on air now. She has to show up, right? That's the way you do.
Absolutely.
That's the way you get them.
Okay.
Well, okay. Well,
Very good.
thank you. So I just want to close out with saying to the listeners, so glad that you are showing up for yourself during this time, even to actively listen to this and taking the considerations for yourself in terms of how this can enhance, again, not only your YouTube experience, your overall social media experience, but other areas in your life. And regardless of whether it is YouTube that needs to get done, whatever needs to get done in your life, get it done now. Get you done now in whatever areas are most relevant and highest priorities, because that's what's going to help you to soar to new heights. We can give you tips and strategies, and you can start implementing them. But if you yourself haven't got some things in alignment with you, and remember, YouTube, this is you showing up. We want to make sure you're showing up as the best version of yourself. That's beyond any tactics and strategies that we can provide here. So if you need to get you done in those areas, get you done in those areas as well, as you are moving this venture forward. So with that being said, going to send you away with many blessings and, of course, best wishes towards you getting YouTube done and just every other endeavor that is most meaningful to you. And we will certainly be back with you soon. Take care.